Hello, Sable Truffle parents. This is your week 2 litter update for your mini Australian Labradoodle from Van Isle Labradoodles. In today's video, we are going to let you know and see if your puppy has met their next big milestone, and that is if their eyes are open. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about each of the puppies, what they've been doing this past week. We'll give you a little update on Juniper, and then we're going to talk a bit about finding a vet, a trainer, a groomer, and we're going to talk a little bit about grooming. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and these little mini Australian Labradoodle puppies are thriving. You can see that they're doing really well being lined up. Orange color didn't get a spot here when Juniper laid down, and so he's busy digging and burrowing away trying to find where the opening is. And the reason why he can't find a spot is because his brother Burgundy collar, or Pirate as we tell him, is sprawled right across 2 of the spots. So you'll see him now and you'll get a really good idea of how much strength these puppies have now. Like, you think back to 2 weeks ago when we did our birth announcement video and they could hardly move, and we had to help them find the milk bar, and now they just are going great guns. You can hear them talking a bit, and what they're doing there is probably complaining that they don't think the flow of the milk is quite fast enough. So sometimes if they're on one of the nipples near the front here, there's a little bit less supply than there is at the back. The back usually has the largest supply. And you'll see who's on the back there, Mr. Pirate. And you can see he's certainly not lacking for groceries. And you can tell just by looking at the spread here on Orange Collar that he too has no problem generally finding a spot. So what happens when a puppy can't find a spot like this? It's nothing to worry about. It just means that somebody will finish and fall asleep. He'll nudge his way in there, or Juniper will move, or next time he'll be the first one at the milk bar. It all works its way out. This is one of the reasons why we weigh the puppies every day, because if we see that there's a puppy who's lost weight or isn't really keeping up with the rest of them, doesn't have the same amount to gain, then we want to keep a really close eye on what's going on. See if we need to step in and help them out, or see if there's something going on. So if a puppy is not gaining the way we want them to do, the first thing we do is check under their bums. It's really important that a puppy has a nice dry bum all the time. I'm not showing you his face yet because that will give away the surprise about if there's open eyes here. So those are the 2 main indicators, that and if a puppy is very lethargic, of course. And so that's what we look for, and then if there is one of those issues, then we address that problem. So the puppies this week, what did they do? Well, they ate, they slept, they ate, they slept. Pretty much the same as week 1, but as you'll see throughout the video today, they are starting to walk around quite a bit. They have enough muscle control now and enough strength that they are starting to be able to get up on all 4s. And Juniper, what has she been up to? Well, Juniper has decided it is time for her to join the rest of the group and eat her meals in the doodle den. So she comes into the doodle den and enjoys breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there. She doesn't eat in here any longer. She likes to go and visit with all the other dogs, and it also gives her an opportunity now. We allow her a little bit more access outside. So she uses the doggy door out of the doodle den, and she has a small enclosed area that she can run around in. Very important for dogs. Sniffing is what gives them all the information in their lives. You can imagine how boring it is sitting in here all day and all night with nobody to talk to, nobody to see, just these puppies, and when we come in, of course, and spend time with Juniper, and when she's comfortable and comes out and spends time with us. So for the first 2 weeks, usually a mom won't leave her babies at all. Now that we're at the 2-week point, Juniper's feeling like, okay, they're doing well. I can come out and spend probably 10 minutes. 10 minutes is about the maximum amount of time she likes to be out of the nest. So when she comes out, what's key is that she has somewhere interesting to sniff. And by interesting, it may be totally boring to you and I, but for a dog, it's thrilling. Anywhere where they haven't been for at least 4 hours is interesting. They can tell you all the birds, all the rabbits, all the squirrels, all the mice, anything that's gone through that general area, they're able to pick up that scent. And even in the surrounding area, for a good amount of space where they can't access, they are still able to discern different scents. And that gives them all sorts of information. For a dog, it's like watching a movie is for us. It tells them everything, all sorts of good information, lots of fun. So it's really good opportunity for her, gives her some mental stimulation, and you may not know it, but 15 minutes of mental stimulation from sniffing is equivalent to about 3/4 of an hour of physical exercise in terms of enrichment and life satisfaction for your dog. So just something to keep in mind. You don't always have to be walking around the block or jogging for a mile with your dog. The idea is not to wear them out physically so much as it is to stimulate and satisfy them mentally. So that's what the kids have all been up to. I'm just going to let them be comfortable here. They had already eaten. They're all now just asleep. Juniper didn't have that much milk left, so they're all just snoozing away with Mama's milk bar pacifier there. They like to hang on to the nipple even when they go to sleep. Gives them tremendous comfort. So in the next week, what we're going to see happening with these puppies is they are going to be becoming more and more agile. They're going to start moving around the box more. This is when we start to get to the smelly stage of puppyhood, because they will be going to the bathroom enough that Juniper will not keep up with it. She won't be able to get all of the pee all of the time. She won't be stimulating them to go. They will start going on their own. And so that means we have to change what's in the box several times a day. And she may decide that she's not cleaning up anything at all anymore. Usually she does. She's an excellent mom. But they're going to get to the point where they're too large for her to keep up with that completely. We're going to see them starting to walk around, explore. They may even start pawing at each other, although likely when they do that, they'll also fall over. This is when we start to keep a really close eye on them and determine when we are moving them from the nursery here into the doodle den, or actually from the maternity ward into the nursery. What they'll start to do is to be able to climb up on the pig rail here, and before you know it, they'll be out over this barrier. We don't want the puppies scrabbling around on the floor. It's slippery. That's not good for their joints. It's cold. We don't want them to be cold. It's not cold, but it's colder than it is here on the box, in the box rather. So once we feel that they are starting to have too much physical ability to stay contained in the little whelping box, that's when we move them out. And that gives them the opportunity to develop some more muscle strength. Now, the other thing that may happen in this instance with moving these puppies is Posey, one of our other girls, is due in just a couple of days. Juniper, you can see, just went on high alert, and that's because she can see Posey out the glass doors. And she is still not too sure about Posey. She and Posey, when they're not pregnant, are great friends. They live near one another, so they do see each other and have play dates. But when one's pregnant and the other has puppies, everything changes. It's very important that if you have a girl who's very serious about protecting her babies, that you don't try to introduce another dog and create a lot of possible friction and stress, because any stress that Juniper has goes right down to that milk bar and into your puppy. And what we're doing is creating nice, calm puppies, giving them the opportunity to be as calm as possible by keeping mom as happy and relaxed as possible. So when Posey has her puppies, we'll introduce her next door, and if that's unsuccessful, we'll just relocate Posey to a different spot, or we'll relocate Juniper and her puppies a little earlier than we would otherwise. It'll depend on the puppies. It will depend on what they're telling us. It's all what we get from them. So now if you're on this litter list, what you're going to learn about this week is choosing a vet, a trainer, and a groomer. Now you may think, wow, it's way too early to worry about that. This is the time that you need to start doing that though. Everything related to dogs is in very short supply. It's very hard to find a good vet, groomer, and trainer. Even though there's lots of them out there, it's hard to find the right one. So you'll get a video that helps you with some tips on what to look for, what to avoid. In a nutshell, vets are very difficult to find, so you may not have any options other than to go with whomever is taking new clients. If you've already had a dog and had a vet and you like them, call them up and make sure that you are still a client and able to bring your new puppy to them. If not, start looking around and then use our private community Facebook page and say, hey, my name is, I'm getting one of Juniper's puppies. Can anyone recommend a vet in the area? Use that for groomers and trainers as well. Now, if you're on Vancouver Island, one of the best trainers you're going to find is our own Taylor, who has her company called Positive Results. Taylor has worked with the puppies since they are young. She was here with them all day yesterday because Reynolds and I were out doing food deliveries for our puppy families, and so she was here with them all day. She sees them regularly, and for everyone who's in Head Start, which I believe is most of you on this litter, if not all of you, it will be Taylor who does a lot of the Head Start work with the puppies as well as us. So you want to have, when you're looking for a trainer and a vet and a groomer, someone who's familiar with Australian Labradoodles. You want them to understand that these are not Labradoodles, these are not Aussie Doodles. Aussie Doodles are a completely different breed, entirely different look, and an entirely different temperament. Labradoodles are also a different breed, and while they look similar and their temperaments are similar, they are not the same dog. And when you activate your free 30 days insurance from Trupanion, be very clear you have an Australian Labradoodle. The rates change based on breed, and you'll find that for an Australian Labradoodle, it's significantly less than if you said, oh, I have an Aussie Doodle. It's an easy mistake to make because they're Australian, they're Labradoodles, so it seems logical you would call them an Aussie Doodle. Now for grooming, you can see Mr. Pirate here. He is really quite relaxed after his meal, and he's just enjoying resting his head there on Blue Collar Boy. And this is a good opportunity. You can see inside his ears here, and you can see how they're tan. And there's also a little bit of tan over his eye with the patch on it here, and the significance of that is just that he is a tri, so that means he is a phantom like Red Collar Girl and a party, which is the two colors. Just thought I'd point that out while you could see his ear flipped over there. Now, Australian Labradoodles do require grooming. They require that they go to see a professional groomer at least once every 8 weeks. For my own dogs, they go every 4 weeks. Generally speaking, most people seem to be most comfortable with around every 6 weeks. That makes it easiest for you to maintain and keeps your dog looking beautiful. So their coat grows, and so it's important that you are looking after them at home all the time. So now in your puppy starter kit, you're going to get everything that you need to groom your Labradoodle at home. And the first thing you're going to get is this brush. This is a brush you can use when your dog is wet or dry. It's a slicker brush. It has the right amount of tension on the little pins here. They're curved the right way for a Labradoodle. And when you groom, you start off with the brush, not the comb. And we'll just use Juniper here as a little example. She's probably wondering what on earth I'm doing. And so you just start by brushing them. When you're down on their legs, you do a little bit of a line brush and you do backwards. And you just go like this to get the first bit done. We have 3 grooming videos that will give you links for. Sorry, I know that's disturbing you. So you get that, and then you also get this special comb, which is also particular for Australian Labradoodles. So I guess my model's going to take off. She says enough of that. The comb, this is called a buttered comb, and you can see it has 2 different widths. So this is when you would start doing her body with it, and this part is more for the face work and the ears. Now, to get your puppy ready for grooming, what we're doing right now is every day we touch their feet, we go in between their toes. They've already had their nails done. We'll talk about nails on a different day. And then we just touch the grooming instruments over them. That's all we're doing right now, just so that they get a feel for it, they're used to it before they go home to you. Then the other things that come in your puppy starter kit are, first of all, this special Canadian made organic shampoo. So does it matter that it's organic? Does it matter that it's Canadian? It matters that it's organic because that's what's going to be most gentle on their coat. It's really important that you don't overbath a puppy, and that when they do get bathed, you're not drying their skin out. The organic ingredients help to make sure that their skin is not being dried out. It also is not irritating to their eyes, just like baby shampoo for babies. You don't want to be irritating their skin or their eyes. Does it matter that it's Canadian? It does to me. I love to support Canadian businesses. Wherever we can, we have Canadian products for everything in our store, curated canines, and everything in your puppy starter kit. The other thing that you're going to find in there is this bathless spray. And what this is let's say we go out and it's a pouring rain day and your puppy comes back and they have muddy paws. You just need to do a little squirt of this. It's a foam. You just rub it in your hands, and then you're just going to rub it on their feet. And that way you get all the dirt off of the important area that you don't want to be dirty in your home, but you're not giving them a whole bath and irritating their skin and causing possible problems in the future. Then this other really great product, this is not Canadian. There is not a Canadian product that I feel is as good as this one. And this is a competition spray conditioner and dematter. So I used to show dogs. I did Siberian Huskies. This was the product that I liked to use back then. It is still used by most groomers and most people who show dogs. It doesn't have a bad scent to it. It's fairly neutral. The other 2 items there I showed you are both unscented entirely. This you just spray on your dog either after you've bathed them or when they're dry. You just use a small amount. You just run it through their fur, and it really helps if they have any mats or tangles to get those out and make it easier for you when you're grooming. Oh goodness, you okay? Got the hiccups there. And then one other thing we give you in your puppy starter kit, these are fully compostable, they're organic, they're all natural, they're unscented, and these are face wipes. But you don't have to use them just for the face. They can be used for anything. So it comes in this nice big 100 sheets. What I like to use them for is their paws if they're dirty, but I also use them on the face. So after they've had something to eat, I'll just quickly go like this and clean their face off. For an adult dog, this is ample to get their whole face cleaned off. Because when they eat, their face is in their bowl, and when they're eating their raw food, sometimes a little bit of the juice will be stuck in their beard. This, you just take it off really quickly. You can also use it to wipe your hands off with if you need to, and it's compostable, which is a really nice feature. And then finally, we have an all-natural, again, Canadian-made ear cleaner. So one of the things that Australian Labradoodles are prone to is ear infections sometimes. Floppy ears mean that moisture is trapped in the ear quite easily. And you won't see much right now, but even if you look here at Pirate's ear, his is a good example because it's 2 colors, you can see there's quite a bit of hair inside the ear. Now, while we don't mind having some hair on the edge of the flap here, what we don't want is to have a bunch of hair in the ear canal. Enough hair that it blocks the airflow, because when the ear's flopped over and we've got a bunch of hair in the ear canal, that's when moisture gets trapped. That's when we see bacteria build up. and we end up with an ear infection. So cleaning their ears is something that you're going to do usually about once a week. Very quick little process. You just take the cleaner, put it on a makeup pad into the ear, give it a swipe, and off we go. It should come out clean. If it isn't and it's dirty, then you'll have to repeat and do that more to keep their ear clean. Excuse me. Sometimes when they're little and low to the ground and it's a muddy time of year, when they're playing and they're running through perhaps long grass, then you'll see that you will get some gunk building up in their ears. So that's all we're going to talk about today. As I said, all of these items come in your puppy starter kit, so you'll be well equipped. There is lots to last you there for quite a long period of time, and you'll be well on your way to having everything you need. And this is how we design the puppy starter kit, so you don't have to worry about all these things initially. Everything's there for you, and you can just relax, spend time with your puppy, and develop the bond with them. So now let's have the big reveal and see what the puppies weigh, and did anybody open their eyes? So we're going to do the puppies in birth order. We have Mr. Blue Collar here who's first, and this is a good chance while he's upside down. You can see some of the pretty white that he has that's under his chin there and under his neck. And then he's got those two pretty little white tail lights on his back legs. And you'll see already he is not looking as much with his phantom markings like Red Collar Girl, and that's because he is a Sable. So because they still can't hear, we're still going to touch them first, and then we're going to pick them up, and we'll hope they wake up so you can see. Ta-da! Look, my eyes! Here's my eyes! Now all the puppies have blue eyes. Puppies are all born with blue eyes. They will change over the next few months, and these puppies will all end up with a hazel or brown color of eye. Now, Mr. Blue Collar Boy is now the smallest puppy in the litter, and he is 737 grams. So this week you're going to see changes in who's the biggest and who's the smallest as things start to shake out a little bit more. And Mr. Blue Collar, he was the first puppy to open his eyes, weren't you? He opened his eyes on day 12. And next we have Mr. Green Collar. Mr. Green Collar, who used to be our little guy. Hey, buddy. And of course, I am still talking to them, even though they can't hear me yet. Mr. Green Collar is now 792 grams. And now what have you got to show everybody? I also have my eyes open. Yay for me. Oh, I have to rest my head. I'm just so tired. Are you going to show everybody? There we go. Mr. Green Collar was the third puppy to open his eyes. He opened his eyes on day 13. Yes, you see, everybody show your eyes. Oh, so handsome. It's really funny. When he first opened his eyes, I came in to see if they had opened, and I was talking to him like this, and I went, oh, good boy, and I gave him a little nose touch, and he was, oh my goodness, what is that great big thing coming in? So now we do this quite a bit with the puppies, so they are used to seeing our great big heads coming right into their line of vision. Next, we've got Red Collar Girl. And Red Collar Girl is no longer the biggest one in the litter, and she is 929 grams. Red Collar Girl is almost at 1 kilogram, and her eyes are open if she's going to share them with anybody. There we go. Wake you up enough to share. Hey, oh no, don't go and keep them closed. Red Collar Girl was the second puppy to open her eyes. She opened her eyes on day 12 as well, just about an hour after Mr. Blue Collar did. Hey, just show everybody your eyes. There we go. Oh, and I show everybody what a big yawn I have. Then we are going to see Mr. Pirate or Burgundy Collar. And Mr. Burgundy Collar, he's taken over the number 1 position. He is the biggest puppy in the litter. He is 946 grams, and he was the last puppy to open his eyes on day 14. You are the biggest, but you were the last one. And if you look closely, you'll see that little highlight I was telling you about over his patch, and that's his dog eyebrows are called chits. And so the phantom always has those chit markings there. This puppy's going to be a larger puppy, I think, because look at the size of his paws. He has great big paws. I always figured he would end up being the biggest one in the litter. You can also see the pigment is starting to come in on his nose there. He will have a brown colored nose, and it is just starting to fill in a bit now. Hey, go handsome. And last but not least is our orange collar. Orange collar opened his eyes on day 13, right at the end of the day. He didn't have them completely open. He probably did it sometime in the night, but when I saw him in the morning on the day 14, they were completely open. And orange collar is 851 grams. Are you showing anybody your eyes? That's a nice stretch, but how about you show your eyes? There we go. There we go, good boy. Usually if I just play around by their mouths here, I can get them to wake up enough that they'll open their eyes up. They still sleep almost all of the time. So that is their update. That's all their new weights. Oh, and if you take a look here at Mr. Orange Collar on his front paws here, you can see they look almost like they're brindled. So this is also indicative of the Sable pattern. It's really cool. It's very pretty. He may keep that forever, or that may end up going away and just turning into the solid sort of a caramel parchmenty color he's got there. Oh, he says I can't even hold up my head. So everybody's doing just exactly how we would like to see them doing. Juniper is taking just such good care of them. You can see they all got their beautiful gleaming coats. Juniper, of course, is continuing with her raw diet. And we alternate what she eats in that. And we'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit more about that probably next week to explain how we alternate all the different proteins and other items in their food to make sure that the puppies are exposed to as many things as possible so that we don't have any dogs developing food allergies. So now we really hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you found it interesting. If you did, we really appreciate it if you have the time to comment below, and feel free to ask me any questions you may have. If you don't have time for that, but you can give us a thumbs up, that's really appreciated too. And we do hope you're subscribed to the channel. After this weekend, there will be 2 videos coming out each week on our channel, because we will also have Posey's litter, and in each litter we try to change the information up a bit and tell you something we haven't told you in other litters. So always something fun and new to learn about Australian Labradoodles. So I'll see you probably before week 3 update for these puppies, when we see you for the birth announcement for the pot of gold litter with Posey. Thanks so much for watching.